with Regional Development Australia Perth, and you're now viewing the RDA Perth YouTube channel. And we're continuing our conversation with Kim Drabnieks, the chair of the Western Harbours Alliance, and some of the work that they're doing with the community in terms of the development of the Outer Harbour. So Kim, I understand you've been running some forums, and the first one was oversubscribed. There were a lot of people at it.
Yes.
What were some of the presentations about? I understand Nicole Lockwood was there?
Yes, Nicole, the chair of Westport Task Force. We were very pleased that Nicole could make that straight away, and she was able to give an overview of where the task force is going through, which is wonderful. We also had discussions about the environmental aspects of what would happen with the Coburn Sound with a new port, or when we say new port, but we've got to remember that there's already a port there in Kwinana, and we already have a lot of shipping there. So those discussions were going through. We also had Fremantle Mayor Brad Pettit talking about the opportunities for Fremantle. And I think that the City of Fremantle are really looking forward to, that whole ability for Fremantle to open up for that. And I think one of the most interesting discussions was Professor Peter Newman talking about those opportunities that open up with the world stage with areas like lithium. And he was talking about Kwinana could be the Lithium Valley, the new world renowned for that. And that's, huge opportunities.
With that, RDA has been working with Peter Newman and Curtin University and in looking at establishing that business case for Lithium Valley in terms of what we might be able to have, because we are the world's leader in production of lithium globally, and we have some investment already being made down at Kwinana to actually take the raw resource and process that into lithium hydroxide and lithium carbonate, which are the two key elements that then creates the batteries. But what we want to see is that the batteries actually get produced in Western Australia as well.
And that's right, we have the opportunity for that secondary processing. We've too often just exported our raw materials, for very little gain for WA, and this is just an exciting opportunity for Western Australia to be on that stage, to be able to do that secondary processing and actually really export something that's needed. And of course the world's screaming out for it at the moment. We have the rare earths here, we have the lithium, and we should be making use of it. We've got such a wealth of intelligence in our community that can be working on these projects, and I'm sure we could be drawing people from around the world here as well.
I agree. It would be fantastic if we could have a conversation with Tesla and Panasonic. So you've got another forum coming up?
We have on Monday the 29th of January. We have our second forum in Kwinana. There was a lot of calls for people saying, well, why can't we be in Kwinana to discuss these issues? So again, we'll be looking at the environmental impacts and the opportunities that a new harbour might be presenting. We'll also be talking with Mayor Carol Adams about the work that they've been doing with City of Kwinana on the Indian Ocean Gateway. And very excited to have Phil Thick talking about lithium as well. So, and Paddy Creevy as well, which will be, she's a former Mayor of Mandurah, and I believe you know a lot of Paddy's work as well. So, yeah, she's
fantastic. Very socially astute, and she's a fantastic speaker. So, what is the structure of Western Harbours Alliance like? Is it So is it mostly community, or?
We're all volunteers, as in most non-profit organisations. We are trying to strive for some excellence and tap into the huge amount of resources that are out there in our community with some knowledge in all sorts of different areas. And we're working with the Westport task force on their reference group, so we're the only community group that was invited in to be part of the reference group, and so we have different members who are able to give some expert advice in different areas, and we're seeking more member organisations and individuals who want to give to part of that and who are interested in just pursuing where we're going for sustainable transport solutions for our 21st century.
And so do you have a website?
We do, yes. Yes, just westernharboursalliance.com.au. That's just being upgraded at the moment, so shortly we should have brand spanking new and a little bit more easier for people to get a lot more information from.
Yeah. Fantastic. And are you using any social media?
Yes, we're connected on Facebook as many others, and we try and put as much information and really listening to what people wanting to hear. So that can drive our future forums. We're asking people to let us know what they want. Yeah.
Great. And so with the rehabilitation of where the clearing had taken place with the previous Row 8 project, so how is that happening and where is that at?
Yeah, so there's a group, the Coburn Community Wildlife Corridor, who have been working for the last year with the government on a ministerial group, and there's a management plan being developed, finalised in the next month, so we're hoping that will be signed off, and a management team will be getting in there. There's been a lot of regrowth coming through. There's new fences around all the areas that were cleared, so that regrowth that's coming up is now protected. And over the next 10 years, the management plan is there'll be a lot of replanting, a lot of community getting in there planting, and just watching that space, and it's just fantastic to see the animals coming back in. The bandicoots are coming back, the Carnaby cockatoos, really important. Of course, we've lost habitat that was hundreds of years old. Some of those trees that we lost, we won't be getting them back very quickly, but we're lucky to have a lot of supporting vegetation, which will help.
Yeah, one interesting thing, because I live in Hamilton Hill, and I do recall when that was being cleared, a whole bunch of us where we lived lost our chickens to foxes.
The foxes, yeah.
And the foxes that just absolutely showed up everywhere, and even some of the Italians who had been there for 43 years lost their chickens too. So I think that was like one of those direct impacts.
Well, I guess when our native, animals come back, we'll get some of the ferals as well, and we do have to watch in the wetlands area, particularly the rabbit population. So we're working with all the different land care groups to be able to make sure that we get the best possible results. What we do have, why this area is so special that people don't realise, we have that very damp lands, wetlands, but the ecology changes through the dune systems, the old ancient dune systems. So we have 7 distinct ecological areas that go from all the way to the ocean from those wetlands, and you don't get that anywhere else. Kings Park only has 1 ecological area. We have 7 in that area, so it's so special. And this is why we have different fauna and flora all the way through as you go through, and those Jewets and the Belgas, and very special land. And we want to keep protecting that, and there's a lot of people still, thousands and thousands of people who are looking out to protect it still.
So other than the community getting involved with the rehabilitation of the area, is there going to be any consideration for future access by the community to look at,
so the Community Wildlife Corridor have got a plan. They're working towards that to be able to get a beautiful nature reserve in there that will not only protect that native flora and fauna, but actually be a demonstration area. So local community and continue to walking through there now, but also tourism through there, and a wider community once they realise this is the Kings Park of the South. It's very
fantastic. Special. This is really great, to be listening to what you guys are doing.
So much is happening,
It sounds like you've actually made a lot of progress in a very short period of time, and it's really good to hear that the government is listening to the views of the community and engaging with your organization. So fantastic.
Yeah, it's been a great year. It's very busy year the last year, but really fantastic. And thanks for having me.
No worries. And for anybody who's interested in becoming a member of the Western Harbours Alliance, please go to the website that Kim mentioned, and I believe
westernharboursalliance.com.au.
Yeah. and thank you. And if you're interested in this more programs from RDA Perth's YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, and we'll talk to you later.